My top PT tip for runners is to bring or wear a pair of your older footwear the next time you decide to make a purchase at the local running shoe store. Whether they are running shoes or street shoes, they will contain more personal information about your unique symmetry, your gait patterns, than any time you might spend on a treadmill or being evaluated by very sophisticated software. And I brought two examples for you. This first pair belongs to a gal who had been running for about a year and who came to us with complaints of moderate to severe pain along the outside of her thigh into her knee. She had iliotibial band syndrome. Upon looking at her shoe, it was quite clear that she had been riding on the outside of her heel over and over again. It didn't take much to see that. Even the untrained eye could spot that. For some reason, they had put her in a stability shoe that was actually pushing her in that direction. So what we did for her, of course, was stretching, strengthening of her core, her trunk, a lot of foam rolling, and we suggested that she go into a more neutral shoe, and perhaps one with just the slightest lateral flare that might prevent her from that constant rollover and the creation of that friction on the outside of her knee. She's been running for another 6 months now, virtually pain-free. That's one example. Example number two, this shoe belonged to an older gentleman, someone who had never run, someone who wanted to run, but was fearful because he was quote-unquote pigeon-toed. So of course we did a full head-to-toe evaluation. We looked at his alignment and also looked at his shoe wear. And I hope you can spot this, but contrastly, he was over-wearing the inside of his shoe as he would roll inward or pronate with each step. So what we did for him was to put him on an assisted stretching regime for his hips, number one, strengthening, and we suggested, number one, that he go see an orthotist so that he could have an orthotic made before he would even go into a running shoe store. And that's what he did. He had a nice orthotic made, one that was lightweight. He wore it to the fitting, and we suggested a stability shoe, but very importantly, one that was not too heavy, because this was a gentleman who was dealing with weakness, again, throughout his lower extremities. And those are just two examples that prove the old adage, one size does not fit all. A good running shoe in itself may not prevent running injuries, but a poorly fitted shoe will almost be guaranteed to create difficulties down the road. I hope you enjoyed my top PT tip for runners. Happy, healthy trails.